we might get started now. Righto, everyone. A very, very big welcome to this RPMA webinar. It's called Streamline to Save Time. So basically today, I'm going to take you through some tips and some tricks to get some of your very valuable time back. So it won't be news to anyone here, but we spend so much time on our devices these days. I'm talking about PCs to do your property management work, your tablets potentially for doing inspections, and your phones to communicate with your tenants and your suppliers and your customers. So what I'm getting at is a lot of the things, if not everything I show you today, will be orientated towards your devices for the fact that we just use them all the time. So that's where we can make the quick wins. Now, these tips and tricks that I'll show you today, I haven't plucked them out of the air. I haven't researched them on Google. I actually used these tips and tricks when I was a property manager to get back so much of my time. I'm no longer doing day-to-day property management. It's more managerial stuff. But the good thing is I've been able to take a lot of these tools with me. So it's not necessarily just for property managers, but certainly it is heaps of help for you guys, the property managers. Right, so you're basically going to know the things that I show you today are going to work for you. Right, but first a little introduction about me for those who don't know me. My name is Weir. I've been on the committee of the RPMA since it began, and prior to that it was Promins. I built up an independent property management business in Auckland between 2014 and sold it in 2020. We had a rent roll of several hundred properties, and I sold that business just when the pandemic hit actually, and then I bought into a business that my father had started called Propertyscouts, and that's on the franchising side of things. We've got offices throughout the country, as far south as Invercargill and as far north as the beautiful Bay of Islands. So our franchises are out there every day. They're managing thousands of properties, and it's my job to support them and guide them and give them help and help them grow as well. That's a little bit about me. Right. So why should we even be bothering to listen to me about my ideas around how you guys can save time? Well, I think all of you know that things have changed so much over the past couple of years. One thing that, for me, one thing that has added a ton of time was the introduction of healthy homes and the compliance surrounding that. Back when I started, 2013, 2014, I remember doing 2-page tenancy agreements. That's all it was, a 2-page tenancy agreement. There was no mention of insulation, healthy homes, declarations of the sort. And nowadays, you're lucky if you print out a tenancy agreement and it's less than 7 pages. And I just think that is a reflection of the complexity that's come along to our job. I think that's a good thing because ultimately I think property managers are going to be seen as, or property management will be seen as a profession soon enough. The other things we've had, Privacy Act changes, removal of no cause terminations. Now that means you guys are doing more viewings, you're doing more background and due diligence on your tenants, and you're processing more applications as well. So basically, the time taken to do our job has got a lot bigger. So I think you need to find ways to save time, because if you don't, you're going to be working longer. You're going to spend less time with your family and things that you want to do outside of work. And quite a big one is if you own your own business, you're probably going to spend less time growing your business, plus have a higher chance of burnout. Or you can adapt. You can find ways to save some time. So today I'm going to share with you the tips that will help you save time. But there's an added benefit over and above the few tips I'm going to share today. The things that I say may spark something in you to actually look at other parts of your job and go, is there a way to save time on that? So it's not just the things I show you today. Try and widen the scope a little bit in the days and weeks following this webinar. Right. Oopsie. So I'm going to kick things off with routine inspections, because God knows they take so much of your time. And I have a way of saving heaps of time when it comes to routine inspections. It's not about the bit where you're at the property actually doing the routine inspection, because I don't want to encourage any corner cutting or shortcutting and stuff like that. I think largely leave that area alone. There's nothing worse than coming back to the office after a big day of doing your inspections. Your emails have built up, your phone calls have built up, Steve from accounts is in your face, he's got some invoices that you need to approve. You're basically behind because, as you guys know, our work doesn't stop when we take a day out to do inspections. You have all that work to catch up on, plus you've still got to type up the inspections that you've done. So I'm going to share with you how I got back 80 hours per year out of changing the way I did my routine inspections. So it's quite a lot of time. So what is my tip? The best way to save time when it comes to writing your routine inspections is to not write them at all. So what if you could have someone else write up the inspection for you? And I'm sure none of your teammates are going to offer to do that for you. The solution that I used and found to be very helpful was using a transcription service. It's a great way to avoid writing the inspection up yourself. So what I like to do is, when I've finished the inspection and I'm jumping back into my car to drive to the next inspection, I just pause for a moment, open up the voice memo recorder app in my phone, and I talk into my phone and I detail what I want the report to say. Once I'm done with that, it takes about 3 minutes generally. I quite write detailed routine inspections, rightly or wrongly. I then upload the file directly from my phone to the transcription website. That only takes a minute or two. And then usually the inspections, all the written inspections are back in my inbox by the time I get back from my inspections. So I actually want to show you what it looks like when I'm recording and what the outcome is, what I get back from the transcription service and what it costs and how much time I save. So here we go. The next video is me dictating what I want to be said in a routine inspection report.
2022, Propertyscouts exclusive conducted a routine inspection of 81 Shanghai Avenue in Clover Park. The home was presented in an excellent condition by the tenants. The tenants went home when I got out.
As you can see, I talk with my hands a bit. Right, so generally speaking, the turnaround time from the transcription service is very, very fast. As I say, it would be unlikely if you uploaded that recording when you're outside one of your properties that you've just finished, that it wouldn't be in your inbox when you get back. They give you a bunch of files for the same stuff. They give you a Word file, a PDF and everything like that. I'm only interested in the Word file. So let's now take a look at what comes back, because we want to make sure that it comes back as good quality. You don't want to have to be fixing stuff and fixing grammar. And what I can say is it comes back really good. So this is what it looks like. Hey presto, we've got a fully prepared written body that is ready to be copied and pasted into your inspection and then sent off to the owner. Now, don't know about you guys, everyone's different, but I usually do 6 inspections a day. I know other people like to do more. I'm a bit of a soft cock. I can't do more than 6. So it would take me about 10 to 20 minutes to type up that type of inspection you see on the screen. That's sort of a regular inspection for me. I know it's a bit longer than some other people write, and it also depends on the property. So I said it's between 10 and 20 minutes for me to type that up. So let's call it 15 minutes. 15 minutes times 6 inspections in that day is total typing up time of 1.5 hours. Now to talk into my phone, it's 3 minutes. So 3 minutes times 6 inspections, that's 18 minutes of talking. Let's add on 3 minutes for uploading those, just 3 minutes for uploading all of them. So that comes to a total of 21 minutes instead of an hour and a half, 90 minutes. So a total time saving there of 69 minutes with those 6 inspections. Now, I used to have a portfolio of about 100 properties. I generally have about 400 routine inspections per year. And working the arithmetic back, by using the transcription service, I was able to save 80 hours per year, which is huge. Oh, by the way, talking about the quality of the transcription service, what I've done for you is, that is how I got it back. And I just highlighted the 2 spelling mistakes they made. Fascia was spelt incorrectly. So full disclosure, you do have to give it a proofread, but it's really good. Like, the address of that property was 81 Shantae Avenue. When I said 81 Shantae Avenue into my phone, they spelt it correctly. So yeah, very happy. The cost, it's about $2.50 per inspection. Of course, that's tax deductible. So all in all, $15, and you'll get an hour and a half of your time back. Now, I would challenge you to think about what you could do with that extra hour and a half. What I used to like to do is use that spare time, pick up the phone and prospect, because that's what can actually bring value into my business rather than typing the inspections. So always think to yourself, what can I do with that time? Right. The next thing I want to talk about is email hacks and how they've been able to save me some time. Because I was finding that I was typing the same stuff on quite a regular basis. Just over and over. It could have been a greeting, like just a simple dear someone, hey, I hope you're having a great week so far. Or even just the sign off. Sometimes, quite often, we'd have to provide our trust account, our full legal name and our trust account number. And I just found like that was getting a bit tiring. And I was like, could this be done a much shorter way? Another one was when people wanted to come to our office, we'd have to give them the full office address, what level we're on. People used to get lost, so I'd have to include the Google Maps link as well. So just adding all that in was quite time consuming. So I say to you, anything that you write on a regular basis in your job, there is a really, really good way to save time on that. So I'm going to show it to you now. It's going to be a video demonstration of this autocorrect in Outlook. So we'll jump over to that now. Actually, sorry, I just want to say one thing. We all know about autocorrects. We usually use an autocorrect to fix up our mistakes, but we turn that on its head, and you can actually use autocorrect to very intentionally save time, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Now, when I want to write my full address in Outlook, our address is 1 Kingdom Street, so all I type is 1K, and then the computer knows that I want that to expand to our full address. When I want to write our full trust account number and bank account name, I just use 06, which is the first 2 digits of our bank account number. And when I want to give someone some pleasantries, like a hi, thanks for your email or whatever, all I need to do is write the word dear. So I'll show you those in action right now. So I'm composing a new email, and I'm just going to write 1K so that our address comes up. So notice how that happened. Comes up with everything I'd have to usually write manually. When I write dear, it comes up with the pleasantries. Thank you for your email. I hope you're having a good week. And then when I type, that happened a bit quick, but I type 06, and the computer knows that what I really want to happen is for everything about our bank account name and number to come out. Now, the sky's the limit. You could do anything you like, any word you like, you could have expanding into whatever. You could even expand it into 2 long sentences. So what I'm going to do is actually show you how to set that up. It's extremely easy. It would take about 1 minute to set up. Now, it goes quite quickly, so I will play it twice. So if you miss anything the first time round, don't worry.
Don't do this and type out the same phrase over and over again in an email message. Instead, do this. Go to the file menu in Outlook, go down to Options, choose Mail, click Spelling and Autocorrect, click Autocorrect Options. Now put in your own autocorrect. Every time I type TPS, I want to have it replaced with this phrase here. Click Add, click OK, and now OK. Now, whenever I need that phrase, I just type TPS, hit Enter, and it replaces it. So if you could do that, that'd be great.
Now that did play a bit quickly, didn't it? So I am going to play it one more time, just in case you guys want to take notes on it, so you can implement it for yourselves.
Don't do this and type out the same phrase over and over again in an email message. Instead, do this. Go to the File menu in Outlook, go down to Options, choose Mail, click Spelling and Autocorrect, click Autocorrect Options, now put in your own autocorrect. Every time I type TPS, I want to have it replaced with this phrase here. Click Add, click OK, and now OK. Now, whenever I need that phrase, I just type TPS, hit Enter, and it replaces it. So if you could do that, that'd be great.
Sweet. So that's how you set up that in Outlook. Right. I want to, we'll stop that video. I want to talk to you now about quick replies. So it's very, very similar to what I just showed you. But what I just showed you is for Outlook, your PC or your Mac or whatever you use. What about all the communications that come in from tenants and prospective tenants on our phone? Is there a way that we can quickly reply to those guys in the same fashion of what I just showed you? So I use an app called Texpand. So Texpand. It's one word. It's free, or you can pay a little bit and it opens up more features. So I would like to give you a demo of how that works. This is a video recording from my phone. Before you start, you can actually see I've been contacted by a prospective tenant. Excuse me, frog in the throat. Hello, Ryan. I saw your advertisement for Trade Me for the property 1 Smith Street. Now, we've all got these messages, don't we? May I ask, are there any viewings set up for that property? And if so, what are the dates and times? Look forward to hearing from you soon, Dave. Thanks, Dave. So I'm going to show you how I deal with this type of text message in the fastest way possible. So I've opened up the message, and all I do is I type VT, and the way I remember VT is it's short for viewing tracker. I want to send the person to viewing tracker. So we can hit send on that now. And this is what the message looks like. I'll just pause so we can have a look. So simply by putting those 2 characters in, it says, hey there, to take a look at the viewings we have for this property, simply head over to our online booking system and click on the appropriate property. So clicking that link will take them to our viewing tracker site. Not sure if you guys use viewing tracker. Once you're there, if there are any upcoming viewings, you'll be able to book yourself in pretty easily. If the times of our viewings don't suit or there are none there, then you'll still be able to enter your details, and we will advise you by email and SMS as and when viewing times are set up. Thanks, and have a wonderful day. So I think that's a pretty polished response, and you can make your own, and you can make them longer or shorter. You could even attach like a YouTube video, a link to a YouTube video, get them going to your YouTube. The more people that click on your YouTube video, and it's you there explaining how to go to viewing tracker and book yourself in, that will help your SEO, but we're getting a little bit off topic there. So that is how I use Texpand, but I don't just use it for that. I've probably got 20 or so examples in Texpand. I can do it if a tenant, I've got one there, I've got one saved response if a tenant contacts me about maintenance, and it redirects them to load it into our website. But I'll just show you one today because you've got the gist of it. Now, so if you really got good at the things I just showed you, like using Texpand and using Outlook, you could really save yourself a lot of effort typing, which means you'd save yourself a lot of effort or save yourself a lot of time. Now, that example, not the last one, but the one I showed you in Outlook, how we did the bank account stuff, our address, and the pleasantries, all that text came to 412 characters. So it's not hard to imagine that you could crank that up to save 1,000 characters or keystrokes per day. Now, we work, generally speaking, 240 days a year. So if you are get yourself saving 1,000 keystrokes, that's going to save you nearly 250,000 keystrokes or characters per year. Now, that'll save you heaps of time and heaps of effort. So I'd encourage you to consider looking into how to save on your keystrokes. Save your little fingers. Right, this is probably my favorite little tip, especially for property managers. Have you heard of quick steps in Outlook? If you have, that's great. But if you haven't, basically a quick step in Outlook, it's like a shortcut that allows you to perform certain tasks and action with a single click. It could be a reply, it could be a forward, it could be copying or moving the email to a particular folder. You can basically do anything. It's so customizable. The big ones for me, the big quick steps that I've made that work really well for me are, I'll give you one example. Like when tenants advise me of maintenance over email, I use Tapi, and ideally I want to redirect that tenant with their maintenance issue to our website to lodge the maintenance issue. And that's without me putting much effort in or typing an email urging them to do that. There is another one I really like as well, actually, and it's replying to emails from prospective tenants who are asking about viewings for one of the properties we've got advertised. Ideally, once again, you want to redirect those prospective tenants to your booking system rather than emailing exchange about times and blah, blah, blah. We basically want them to make a viewing or put their details in as quick as possible, but with as little effort from us. So that's where a great quick step comes in. So I'm going to demo a couple of quick steps for you. So here is one. I'll just pause it on there. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see we've received an email from a lady called Roberta, and in her subject line, she has maintenance issue toilet at my property. Hi, Ryan, I have a maintenance issue that I'd like you to look into and resolve. The toilet system is constantly running. We all know about that. We're worried about the water charges building up. Could you please send your plumber over? I'm working from home, so they won't have much trouble getting access to the property. I look forward to hearing from you soon about this. Okay, so how can we deal with that and save time? It's with a quick step. So let's see it in action. Once I've read the email, I will go up to the middle top of the screen. That's where the quick steps are kept. And what you'll see is I'll click on Load in Tapi, and that's the title I gave the quick step. So now we've got an email that's just sort of pre-populated. I just put the person's name in. And as you can see, it says, so your maintenance issues can be handled in the quickest and most efficient manner. Please proceed to our website to lodge a maintenance request. Here is the link. It is a good idea to upload pictures of maintenance issues as well. This can sometimes ensure that we send the correct contractor over to the job. Then I delete it. Now I want to show you another example. This is about the viewings one I was talking about. So we've got an email in our inbox. This person is saying that they've seen our property advertised on TradeMe. They've told us what the address is, and they want to view it. So I just use the quick step that I called viewing. And let's just have a quick look at what it says. It says, hello, Roberta. We had to put the Roberta part in. To take a look at the viewings we have for a property, simply head over to our online booking system, then click the appropriate property. Here is the link. Once you're there, you might remember this is similar to the text one. So I probably don't need to read the rest of it. And then we can, with a click of a button, we can shoot that off to the tenant. And then they'll start using our booking system to communicate with us and quite possibly book themselves in for a viewing. So that is quick steps. Favorite for me. Okay, getting towards the end of the tips, but still got some good ones. When I was a property manager, I found that I was getting a ton of phone calls from prospective tenants. I would have preferred if they were from prospective landlords, but never mind, beggars can't be choosers. Now those calls, I don't know about you, but I found them disruptive and they would slow me down. So I sort of asked myself, one, are these calls adding value to my business? Generally speaking, the answer was no. And the other question I asked myself after answering the first one, no, is there a way I can outsource these calls so they can be handled with care? It was really important that if I was going to find a way, that I don't take the calls, I need to be assured that whoever is taking the calls does a good job and treats the people well. So the answer was yes. I wanted to look at getting these calls off my plate. What did I do? I found a secretary service in New Zealand at the top of the South Island, and I diverted all of my prospective tenant phone calls to them. I gave them some really robust instructions, about how to answer the phone. So they'll answer the phone. Hello, it's Margaret from Propertyscouts Auckland Metro. How can I help you today? And I gave them all the instructions so they could see our listings online. They knew all about our properties. They knew how to book people into Viewing Tracker, and on it goes. The more information you give them, the better job they do, as you can probably imagine. Now, every month I would get a report from the Secretary Service, and sometimes it would be well over 100 calls, sometimes into the hundreds. So I knew that I'd done the right thing, because I was really satisfied that I got that off my plate. And again, it let me do other better things. So let's just say we had 100 calls on average a month, which it was a lot higher. But if every call was taking up 3 minutes of my time, I saved 300 minutes a month, which is about 5 hours. And I was so happy. I kicked myself I didn't do it earlier. But like I said, there's a big question mark. How are those calls going to be handled? Are they going to be handled well when you outsource it? So I'm going to play a video. It is an actual example from the Secretary Service operator. And it's a friend of mine calling up as the prospective tenant. So I'm about to play it. Yep.
Welcome to Propertyscouts NZ. You're speaking with Shane.
Hi, Shane. I've seen a property for rent at number 4 Kitterani Road. That looks very interesting. I'd like to have a viewing. I was able to organise that one.
Sure, if I can collect a few details, I'll see what viewing times we have available for you there.
Thank you. My name is Jim Smith.
Jim Smith, that was JIMCMICA.
Is that?
And the best contact phone number for you, please.
It's 121 123 123.
So 021 123 123.
That's correct.
Am I able to collect an email address also?
Sure. It's smith@internet.com.
That was smith@internet.com.
That's correct.
Excellent. So for number 4 Kitterani Road, we have availabilities on Tuesday this week, Tuesday the 17th, and we have 3 or 4 p.m. if that's it.
Lovely. That sounds great. Can I do 3 o'clock on Thursday?
Yes, sure. So we'll put down for 3 p.m. on Thursday the 17th of July.
Lovely. That sounds excellent. We'll see you there.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
It's important to note that in that example, there were viewing times that suited the caller, but if there were viewing times that didn't suit the caller, they would put that person, they would load that person into our booking system, which was Viewing Tracker. And then the property manager, me, would get an email saying, call care has just entered a prospective tenant's details into Viewing Tracker. So if I wanted to, I can pick up the phone and call that tenant and say, hey, I know that the time's didn't suit, how about we get you around at this particular time? So yeah, that was a big time saver. Next, just a couple of points, not necessarily about saving time, but easing the load for you guys. I kind of feel, and I don't know about you, but I kind of feel that there's an expectation that emails, phone calls, texts need to be replied the same day by property managers. But it isn't always possible to deliver that sort of time frame. We're so busy. You've got lots on. Sometimes we go out for a whole day doing inspections and viewings. There's stuff coming at us all the time. So a personal way that I liked to ease the load was with my out of office. I sort of challenge the fact that out of offices aren't just for holidays. I sort of challenge and say that maybe you can use an out of office when you're in the office, but really busy. So I want to just share with you an out of office that I have used, that I found just eased the pressure a little bit. But before we get to that, oh no, we'll jump on that now actually. So thanks for your email and property management. We're kept very busy with out of the office appointments, and regretfully we are unable to respond to your emails straight away. However, be assured we will return your email in 24 hours. That just takes the pressure off. I found when I had emails coming in, I knew I wasn't going to get to them today. I just felt sort of comfort that the sender of the email had got that back. We put that in their space and the pressure comes off. Now, you might not be aware, but we can do the same thing on your phone if you get a text. if you get a missed call, if you decline a call, even if you get a WhatsApp, the sky's the limit. So the scenario is, if I'm out at inspections all day long and I don't have time to get back to people until tomorrow when I'm in the office for the whole day, in conjunction with doing the out of office I've just sent you, I use an app on my phone called Do It Later, and it does auto responses to texts, missed calls, decline calls, and WhatsApps. You can tailor it, of course, you can tailor it sky high. So next slide is a video of me getting a text in a day that I'm out doing inspections. And it's an auto reply. I didn't touch my phone for this to be sent. And it's an auto reply to let them know, hey, I'm busy, but I will get to you tomorrow. So here it goes. So the text comes in from a tenant. They want to discuss their lease extension. Obviously, I don't have time to do that today. I'm juggling all these inspections. And there goes the reply. So let's just dissect that a little bit. Once again, because I set that up on my phone, you don't need to press anything. You can even exclude contacts. So if you don't want that going out to family, if you use your work phone, personal and stuff, you can deselect them and things like that. So the tenant said, hey, I want to have a discussion. You don't want to be handling that, generally speaking, during a day of inspections. You're busy enough. So the reply goes out, hello, thanks for trying to contact me. I'm currently unavailable. I'm on the road, got my hands full doing routine inspections, but I will be able to call you back tomorrow. Now, if the matter is urgent, it is good to have something on there that if the matter was urgent, they've got another avenue of getting hold of someone at your office. Right, so that there, once again, the app for that was called Do It Later, and you can use it for heaps of stuff. Now that concludes my webinar about my tips and tricks to save you time. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some benefit out of it. Just remember, it's not just limited to the tips and tricks I showed you today. Hopefully it opens your mind a little bit about other little ways of technology being able to save you time. Like, I didn't talk about it today, but I'd recommend Calendly. I use Calendly all day and I love it. It's a scheduling app. So I will finish up there, and if anyone has any questions, I'd love to take those in. And if everyone's quiet, that is all right as well. You can just use the Q&A. Oh, yeah, I've got a chat. Oh, thank you very much for the feedback, David. Feedback's welcome too, so long as it's good feedback. We haven't had any questions come through, but I'll give a couple of minutes. Maybe people are thinking about an early lunch.